It's been a while since I've made a video. So I'm going to be making some Death's Head Hawk Moth art dolls. We gotta start from scratch with some tinfoil and cover it up with some Sculpey Ultralight. This helps keep the doll as lightweight as possible. And hawk moths actually have mouth parts, so I just rolled a thin needle of clay and set it aside. I decided to go with some cute almond-shaped eyes for one, and some slightly grumpy or maybe bored-shaped eyes for the other. If you ever need to permanently bond pieces of clay together, I recommend using Sculpey Bacon Bond. These little holes are so that I can apply antennas later. And a hole in the back so that I can attach it to the body. You'd be surprised what random household item can be used to create texture on clay. This ballpoint pen worked way better than I thought it would. I ended up making two in this video. One to keep for myself, and one to fund my artistic endeavors. In this next step, I ended up using gold beading wire, and I don't recommend using that. Try to use galvanized steel wire for your art armatures. It's fairly strong, and it also comes in different gauges. Look at all those legs. I knew that 6 legs per moth would be a pain, but I've convinced myself that it was worth it. I sculpted some clay directly onto the wire to give the legs some shape. They will have faux fur on them later, so I made sure not to get them too thick. The little feet part I decided to glue on after it baked. In the meantime, I grabbed my stiff felt sheets to prepare the wings. This stuff is super cheap and super easy to work with, so if you've never messed with it before, I highly suggest trying it. Definitely don't do what I'm doing here. I accidentally created more work for myself by guessing the shape and drawing directly onto the sheet with a marker. I recommend drawing on a scrap piece of paper to get your shape first. After I cut everything out, I made sure they were perfectly mirrored in shape. Now I just had to paint them. And magic. I wish it were actually that quick. While waiting on the paint to dry, I went ahead and stuck the wire into the feet parts and glued them in. All I had to do was bend the end of the wire to the desired length and made sure that they could not come apart. I finished these pieces off with some super glue to make sure they'd stay together. Painting is always my favorite part, but also unfortunately the quickest. I ended up coating most of the clay parts in black paint. Now I had to make one of these guys a Mothman themed variant. Having the idea to paint some super cool red eyes was impossible for me to pass up. Most of the paints that I'm using are either folk art or Liquitex. I tried my best to make sure that the wings were as symmetrical as possible. One of these pieces definitely ended up with a little bit more paint than I expected, but that's just where I drew directly onto the felt instead of using a template first. Up next, I had to finish painting the bottom parts of the wings. You gotta love video magic. In reality, just those parts probably took an entire day. But it was super satisfying to see it all start to come together. If you ever make dolls or stuffed animals, quilt batting could be something worth trying. I cut mine into thin strips so that I can wrap it around my armature, and then I kept wrapping them until I got them the desired thickness. I also put a little pebble in their booty to give them a little bit extra weight. Some artists are able to just lay their doll down directly onto their fabric, and then cut the fabric to the shape that they need, but I have to make a template. I will absolutely mess up if I don't, and that can be a big waste of cloth. So I just take the time and place strips of tape upside down over my doll first, and then place more strips over them the correct way after. I also always make sure that I cut the template off where I'm prepared to stitch. So if I'm smart about it, I can save time by not having to sew as much. After cutting the tape template, I lay them upside down onto the faux fur, making sure the fur lays the correct way. And just like most sewing projects, I give myself room for error by adding a couple centimeters to the template. I made sure that the pieces fit perfectly, but they definitely needed a haircut. That's a little better. I'll end up trimming a little bit more later, but first I had to test to make sure it could fit perfectly onto the clay. Before attaching it, I had to dye it the color it needed to be. I do recommend using faux fur that's already the base color that you need, but if you have white fur, watered down acrylic paint can work, as long as you rub it in and brush it as it dries. It's very important that you do not let any hard strands develop as it dries. Permanently setting the fur was actually way easier than I thought it would be. I ended up using a sculpting tool to help set it in place. And then I went along and applied some Gorilla Glue to help permanently attach it. I also let each side dry thoroughly before moving on to prevent tugging. And the next step was just to sew them up. Stitching them up is my absolute least favorite thing to do, but at least it went by fast. I was already super happy with how cute they looked. I even got excited and I had to see what they look like with their antennas. All I did was wrap some wire around some chicken feathers and then applied a small dab of glue to keep it in place. After they dried, I cut a tiny hole in the fabric and then set them in place. I'm going to show you how to easily stitch faux fur. You put your pieces together, fur sides touching, and then we start with a knot on the flat side. Start where your knot is and then poke all the way through both pieces. Go down your fabric and pierce all the way through both pieces. Down again and pierce all the way through. It's very important that you do not go over your pieces. Go down along the sides. And then when you're done, make sure you pull it tight. As long as your thread is tight and you did that right, you shouldn't be able to see it. Now, if you want to sew the fur directly onto the thing, it's a bit different. We're going to flip a corner and make our knot on the flat side. Poke through where your knot is and your thread should be poking out the fur side. Take your needle directly across to the other piece. Stick your needle through fur side first. Slide the needle down the flat side a small way, and then poke the needle back out through the fur side. Go back over to the other piece directly across, and keep repeating this pattern. Make sure you pull it super tight. Definitely check and make sure that your thread does not get stuck in that fur. My favorite thread to use is invisible nylon. But believe it or not, both of these patterns create the same exact stitch. Once I had them all stitched up and looking super cute and fluffy, I had to figure out how to attach the wings. Luckily enough, I had found a piece of galvanized steel wire to do so. All I did was poke the wire through the body and then through the tips of the felt. I also covered the exposed wire in faux fur by simply gluing it down. Look over the fact that I completely misplaced all but one of my clothespins. Basically, all I had to do left was paint the details. I could have stitched a bunch of different colors of faux fur together, but these Sharpie creative markers worked just fine. And finally, they were done. And what an absolute load of work they were. I absolutely love them, and I love how unique they are, but when I make more, I'll probably be using resin instead of clay, just to speed things up a little bit. And unfortunately, I had to do an indoor photo shoot just because the weather outside is definitely frightful. I'm in love with the differences in the variants, and I'm definitely excited to try new ones in the future. I honestly can't even pick a favorite between the two. Another thing that I absolutely love about them is the differences between the tops and undersides of their wings. There's just so many different details that went into them. One of my favorite parts about them is just how soft and fluffy they are. They turned out so satisfying to hold and snuggle with. I'm also really impressed with the size of these guys. Their bodies are about 8.5 inches long, and their wingspan is up to 16 inches. But I really hope that you enjoyed watching this, and if you end up using any of the techniques that I showed, please get a hold of me on my social medias because I would love to see it. And as always, keep me in mind. So, what now?
I want this. I want it. Turn it on. It is lamp. I want lamp.
This dusty old thing?
Oh. Yay! Me loves the lamp. I stay here forever.
Okay, what about you?
Only one lamp? This isn't enough to satisfy me. No. This right here. This is rookie numbers. I will seek somewhere with more than one lamp. I require at least 10 lamps.
That's actually a lot.
50 lamps?
I don't think...
Okay, final offer, 100 lamps.
But that's not...
200?
I'm not sure anyone would...
300?
No one is gonna have...
500?
I don't think anyone is gonna have...
1,000?
Oh no.